Associate, business analyst, consultant, partner, director, manager, engagement manager, principal. What do all these terms mean? In today's video, I'm going to explain to you how a career in consulting looks like, how it works, and what you can expect if you decide to join one of these large consulting firms like McKinsey, BCG, or Bain. Today, I'm going to talk about what the key career steps in the life of an MBB consultant looks like, what you actually can expect, and I trust that if you watch this video until the very end, this can really help you to understand whether a career in an MBB consulting firm is the right thing for you to do or not. Welcome to another coffee break here on my channel Firm Learning, and on Firm Learning I want to help you to become successful in the first years of your career. My name is Heinrich, I'm a former McKinsey consultant myself. I spent about 6 years with the firm, and in this video I really want to share some insights how you can expect your consulting career to evolve. Let's start by demystifying all these different roles that are out there. So if you browse any career page of a large consulting firm, you will indeed see all these terms that I mentioned in the beginning. So let's break it down. And to make it easy, there are pretty much only 3 relevant roles in consulting. There's the associate role, the project lead role, and the partner role. In this video, I will go over each of these roles in detail and explain you exactly what they're all about. But now to clear out all this confusion, let's just give you some synonymous terms that are often frequently used. So depending on the firm you look like, the associate can also be called business analyst, consultant, junior or senior associate, associate consultant, or any other combination of these terms. What makes it even more confusing is not only that these terms of course change firm by firm, but even within the firms there might be differences among the different offices. For instance, at McKinsey in many offices there is a business analyst role or a BA, but in Germany this doesn't exist. The German equivalent is called a fellow, which again doesn't exist in most other countries. So you can see it's quite complicated, but don't get confused, it's much easier than you might think. Next is the project lead, and some equivalents here are engagement manager, case team lead, manager, or project lead, and indeed any other variation of that. Again, don't get confused, the project lead is the guy responsible for the project on the ground. The third role is the partner role. Here some equivalents are principal, director, senior partner, junior partner, associate principal, and again other variations. And with all of these roles, these are often then also formulated in a hierarchy, right? So maybe first you become an associate principal, then you become a principal, then you become a partner or a senior partner. So of course these are ordered, but again the exact terms differ by firm. So let's start with the first role of these 3 roles, and this is the associate role. The associate role is the first role that you will jump in when you start in consulting. It is the role that you will have as a young graduate, and even most experienced hires will join the MBB firms in an associate role, though of course in a bit more senior level within this role. Associates are the ladies and gents that really get their hands dirty, right? These are the ones that will conduct most of the data analysis. These are the guys that will really work in Excel to build these models, crunch the client data. These are the people that create most of the PowerPoint pages. And of course, these are the people that sit together with clients pretty much all day, having conversations with them, conducting interviews with them, collecting information that then they try to consolidate and synthesize for their project. In MBB firms, so McKinsey, BCG, or Bain, you can trust that even if you're super junior as a consultant, and usually even as an intern, you will not just be an assistant, but you will always from the very beginning be responsible for a distinct part of the project. So there are different names for that, consulting firm by consulting firm. Some call it a module, other a project part, other a work stream, but often you try to cut in the beginning the project into different sub-elements. And if you want to understand this process of structuring a project a bit better, check out my video on hypothesis-based problem solving. I will link it somewhere above here. But now you cut the project into pieces, and then often you will be responsible for one of these pieces. And now the more experience you have in the associate role, the higher your ranks are within these associate roles. Often you will be responsible for larger, more complex, more complicated modules, whereas you as a young BA might start with a smaller task. Maybe you will be responsible for a financial model that the team needs to work on. So this is the associate role. It doesn't matter whether you are a BA, an associate, a consultant, whatever it's called. This is what you will do in such an MBB project. The second of the 3 roles is the project lead role. So typically after 2 to 5 years working in an associate associate role. How long exactly it takes depends on what your level is when you start. So if you start just with a bachelor, it will take you longer than if you start as an experienced hire already with an MBA or a PhD, right? But after 2 to 5 years, you will usually transition into the project lead role. And the main transition here is that as a project lead, you're not only responsible for a small modular work stream of the overall project, but you are responsible for the project as a whole. And together with that, of course, you will be responsible for the whole project team that works on that project. A typical team size for an MBB project is a team of 2 to 5 consultants. So as a project lead, you will usually work together with 1 to 4 other associates that you will lead, you will guide. So as a young project lead, this will be the first transition that you make. Now you are responsible for your team. You need to teach them, you need to coach them. And of course, this can put you also in a lot of stress because now you need to both manage upwards and manage downwards. Now you are the direct contact person for the partner who will teach you to get more done in a short amount of time. But at the same time, you are also the contact person for your associates who pretty much will go to you if they believe the lifestyle is now not getting good enough anymore. They will ask you to reprioritize the work and make sure they don't work too late. And now, of course, you might also be confronted with a whole new set of people leadership skills. So what do you do if you realize that maybe one of the associates on the team is not performing to the level that you would want him to perform? How do you handle that? How do you conduct the feedback? How do you try to help them? At what point you need to escalate the situation? So all of this are new challenges that you are facing that you did not face as an associate. And on top of that, especially in teams where you only have 1 or 2 associates, so in smaller teams, often the project lead also will need to take care of at least one smaller work stream for himself. So besides all these leadership activities, often there's also at least one piece of very operational work that you still need to do and need to complete as well, just like all the other associates. So you might end up with lots of things on your plate, but in the end, this is indeed what you need to get done as a project lead. This is what you are responsible for. Now to the third of the 3 roles, and this is the partner role. So typically after 2 to 3 years as a project lead, you will advance into the partner position. What's important here to understand is that most firms have a level between project lead and partner where you pretty much already do the partner role, but you're technically not an elected partner of the firm yet. The main difference from the partner role to the project lead role is that now in the partner role, for the first time, you're responsible for different projects at the same time. While the project lead only works on one project, the partner now needs to take care of different projects in parallel. Depending on your seniority as a partner and how many projects you have in parallel, the partner typically is on the ground with the team 1 or 2 times per week or up to 1 or 2 times per month if you're a super senior director, senior partner of the firm that you are working for. As a partner, you're the main contact person for the board member, for the senior client who actually sponsored the project. In the end, the partners are the people that pitch their projects to these people, so they are then also responsible for the project's success in the very end. This also means that as a partner, a significant share of your time will be dedicated towards creating these pitch documents, thinking about how you could create value with new projects for your clients, and then going out, conducting the pitches, wining and dining with these senior clients to make sure that your business as a partner is growing. Towards the teams, you will help them with overarching guidance on the projects. In your portfolio of projects that are going on at the same time, you will often have certain projects where the team at the moment is struggling for whatever reason. You will have certain projects where maybe the client at the moment is not satisfied. So these will then be the projects where maybe you need to invest a bit more time to make sure that the team gets back on track, to make sure that the demands of the clients are met, of course assuming that these demands are feasible. So this is really how the career looks like. You start off in the first role, in the associate role. As an associate, your responsibilities will increase over time. Then at some point you transition to the project lead by being responsible for the whole project, for your teammates, the other associates on the ground. And then after that, suddenly you're responsible for a whole set of projects, and you are now the person towards the client who then reaches out to them, pitches them, and then is being asked to conduct new projects for them. So I hope that this now demystifies the career of a consultant, and I hope that this helps you to understand whether this might be a career path that you might be interested in as well. If you have any questions, as always, leave me a comment below in the comment section, and I will not only try to give my very best to answer you, but with every comment you're also very much helping me and supporting the channel, because comments and engagement always look great to the YouTube systems. So if you took any value out of this video at all, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and of course also subscribe to stay up to date on all my content. If you want to see even more from me, follow me on my Instagram. My handle is Firm Learning. I have a mailing list. You can sign up to that below in the video description. And I recently also started to become more active on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is also below in the video description. Feel free to reach out and follow me to stay in contact with me on LinkedIn as well. I now want to say thank you to all the members of Firm Learning. This really means a lot to me. You're really supporting the cause. And if you want to become a member as well, hit the join button next to the subscribe button and you will get access to some nice member-only perks that you will have advantage of. So thank you so much for watching until the end. This really means a lot to me. I release videos every single Saturday. So stay tuned until next week. This is Heinrich from Firm Learning. Bye bye.